Hello and welcome back to Boston Commune.
This week's incredulous installment marks 1 full year here at the Epoch of Incredulity. Our crew this evening consists of Comrade Scott, Ellie, Sarah, and myself. We discuss the end of COVID restrictions in Massachusetts, the ousting of Bibi Netanyahu, and the only official state party explicitly advocating for child labor. I do a thorough theory primer on Marxist theory of alienation, and Ellie reports from the bowels of a marine behemoth. We love you. Thank you for sticking with us. Fuck capitalism. Communism will win.
Please do us a favor, share this content, do yourself a favor, enjoy your Epoch. Enjoy your
If you can't buy the same amount of food for $1 that you could literally 20 years ago, call the police. If she worked at Chipotle, she would drown herself in the cilantro vat within the first hour.
The peach emoji is commonly used as a euphemism for butt, but I firmly believe that it also could be validly interpreted as pussy instead. That's how I feel, and that's how I feel.
Because it's juicy?
Yeah, the resemblance between a peach and a butt kind of ends beyond the shape. The butts do not produce. I mean, they do. They do produce things, but it's not like. Anatomically speaking, a peach and a pussy are more similar. And they all start the same letter, so, you know.
This is true, yes.
You mean like...
So that's another thing, you know?
And I guess if a piece of corn and like a cucumber can both be a dick, you know?
Yeah, or an eggplant. But I feel like the little...
That's what it was, yeah.
The little stem on the peach is kind of like a clitoris, in a way.
Yeah! Oh, good one. Yeah! That's the...
Cross our fingers and snapping our feet, singing dooba-dooba-dooby-dum-dooby-doo.
Yeah, so butts, that was an important Discord on the butt emoji. Ellie, do you have anything to add? Even though you didn't hear any of it?
Nah, it's a butt. It's a butt, y'all.
Okay, it's a butt. Well...
Yeah, we can introduce our guest for this week. Guest 2 weeks in a row this week. It is a smoke alarm.
The chirping smoke alarm, yeah.
Yes, I'm like madly Googling why the hell it won't shut up even after I change the battery.
Because it hates you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it knows that you're recording right now. So, anyways.
Is it an old battery?
Oh, I just got the little bit of the burps right now. Sorry.
The battery that I put in it was being used to power my housemate Cam's miniature wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. So I know that it works. I just don't. I don't know. You don't even try to cut them out. Don't cut the beeping out.
Beep.
Just leave it in.
Beep.
I'll mute when I'm not talking, but just leave it in.
So today's the end of the Massachusetts state of emergency for the COVID-19. I have nothing to add. I just wanted to say that's a piece of news. I'm still gonna wear a mask, I guess.
Something that's happening.
It's something that is happening. That's right. Oh yeah, because we don't have Joe 2 weeks in a row.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That blows.
butt boy. That butt boy. He needs his sleep. He's a crazy butt freak, that Joe. I'm sorry. I apologize, Joe. He's a good comrade.
Gonna hate you.
Oh wait, I have some news. regarding this.
Joe's obsession with butts?
Is he obsessed? I don't.
No, I'm kidding. Keep going.
Okay, I was like, I don't need to know that. I mean, it's fine. But anyway, a very important news on topic, on brand for this particular episode. The COVID-19 order number for this termination of the state of emergency. It was COVID-19 order number 69.
Fuck yeah. Woo!
Nice.
Now that the pandemic's not over, but, the state decided it is. Anyways, Joe wanted us to talk about the Democrats still fucking around with the infrastructure bill. Big surprise. This is like the 5th week in a row we've talked about it.
Did he really specify again that that's what he wanted to talk about?
Yeah, he did. He really did. But now we got some movement as some left-wing senators say that they're not going to pass it if it's watered down. That includes Markey and Sanders. So this is all a fucking disaster. More news from the Democrats as Pelosi says that she'll hold the January 6th hearings without the Republicans. So I guess that's the revenge from the Benghazi trials. Benghazi ain't going away. It's always here. Does anybody care about any of this shit?
Yeah, I can't sleep at night because I think about it. Just kidding.
Thinking about Benghazi.
But the Senate did confirm Lena Khan to the FTC, and they are an ardent supporter of antitrust laws, so hopefully some antitrust
This is like giving me whiplash.
shit's
What?
gonna happen. Yeah, I know. This is just the shit that Joe's interested in.
Yeah, but no, I
Wants
just
us to
mean
talk
like
about.
I feel like we needed some time to have some like at least some puns or something in the middle of these between each.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're like so dependent on Joe to get into the details that
Yeah,
when he give us the headliner, we're just like,
I don't know what to say.
It's like, that's
here's
the thing.
what Joe said.
You display this as a trophy?
Yeah, we can just do sound drops.
Yeah,
That's practically like a commentary,
yeah, man.
even if it's the same thing every time. I mean, it's pretty much what the news is. If you watch, it's just the same shit every day.
Yeah.
White people are the devil.
I mean, if
Pretty
you look
much.
at Lena Khan's website, it says, quoting it says, I study antitrust law, the anti-monopoly tradition, and
Yeah,
law
I mean-
and political economy. Which is
I mean,
cool,
yeah,
but also makes me
nothing
think
would
of like,
change.
while you were doing whatever, I studied antitrust
I
law.
studied the blade of antitrust laws. Yes. I guess the one thing that is kind of interesting and relevant is that Netanyahu has been ousted by the new Israeli government, but hey, they also sent a missile strike into the Gaza Strip today. So again, nothing's going to change.
Well, yeah, the guy who's replacing him is also very conservative.
Yeah, it's a coalition of people from like literally every part of the political spectrum who got rid of Netanyahu, and they were just like, we just want to get rid of him. So I feel like
Yeah.
they
That's all it is. It's just a band-aid. This is like, look, it's the new guy. It's the same thing with like Trump and Biden. It's just like, it's
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
nothing has really improved. It's just you have a person who makes you feel better.
one person is different now, just
Except
like
I'm-
presidency.
Pretty sure the new prime minister actually said, I'm proud. I
Something
love.
like, I'm proud of killing Arabs.
Yeah, he said like I love killing Arabs or something. So
jeez.
I feel like it's probably
not a good thing you want to hear.
Yeah, I feel like it's not really comparable to Trump Biden because Biden is like
Not
I don't think he
killing
would say
people.
like I love killing.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't say
True.
that.
I don't think
That's
he.
true.
Yeah, like he's like a little bit more cagey about his visions of genocide. You know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just to avoid any confusion, Naftali Bennett didn't literally say, I love killing Arabs, but I implore you to watch any interviews with him. Anyway, that's
Some shit news. Everything sucks. Welcome to the neoliberal hell of America 2021. We learned nothing from the pandemic. It's just going to get worse. Welcome to the churn. Your blood will oil the machines.
I mean, is blood like terribly like oily? Like, would it actually like?
It's a metaphor.
Would it work though? Like, I don't know.
Blood will make the
We'll
machines
have to
kind
find-
of wet and sticky.
Yeah, stop thinking blood gets sticky, honestly. Unless you like were specifically harvesting blood from people who had eaten a lot of fat, but I don't even know what the fat goes in your blood. Like, I just want to know about.
No, it does not.
if you
Oh,
have,
that awkward laugh.
The whole like thought of that, like that if you cut a person who had more, then like does their blood come out slower and more like gelatinous?
I
Ugh.
wonder. Oh, you could just
I
like
don't-
inject them with gelatin.
if you have diabetic ketoacidosis, then your body starts breaking down your fat molecules to utilize
Body's
that
gross.
for energy instead, so it makes your blood acidic because of
Oh,
the
interesting.
fats being broken up. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, anything
Oh, no,
next
fucking
to
gross.
do?
No.
I was gonna say the New Hampshire Libertarian Party
Oh yeah. Go into that. This is fun.
really put out a banger. I don't know if I have the picture on my hard drive, but basically the official Libertarian Party of New Hampshire Twitter account put out a tweet that was legit just like we like child labor. And then they deleted it, and then they posted something about how child labor laws don't protect kids from, like, working in coal mines. They prevent 14-year-old girls from working at ice cream shops, which is bullshit.
What? Yeah, I don't understand. What is there? What?
And what is Aleppo?
I feel like you can definitely work that. I mean, it's preventing them, but like you can apply for a work permit. That's what I did to work at a library when I was like 15.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's a place.
Yeah, you can do that.
There's a place in Manchester by the Sea, and I'm pretty sure they don't hire adults. Like, they only hire kids so that they can do summer jobs.
The town is nothing like the movie.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, there's a movie. Ken Lonergan. The town is depicted as very working class in the movie, but in reality, it's the complete opposite.
No. Manchester by the Sea is like one of the bougiest places in the state.
Oh, that's cool.
They changed their name to Manchester by the Sea in like '93. I mean,
what was another Manchester? They didn't.
It was just Manchester.
They didn't want to be confused with like Manchester.
No, it was just one dude, like one rich dude in town wanted to change the name, and like pretty much everyone hated it, and he just like kind of like greased the wheels with his money, and then the city council changed the name to Manchester by the Sea.
Greased the wheels with his money and his blood?
Well, I mean, yeah. The people that he exploited greased the gears with
indirectly.
With their blood. Yeah. And then that produced the money that he greased the wheels with. Yeah. That's how it works. That's how capitalism works. That's the structure.
That's a literal depiction of the capitalistic model.
It's like the first run of Sweeney Todd when they had the giant machine. That was a metaphor for capitalism on the stage. Doesn't matter. Anyways, do we want to get into Alienation? Do we want to feel all...
I will seamlessly transition into the segment that I call Theory Primer.
This is the Theory Primer. Check your time for. Keep your praxis from getting messy. Comrade Jesse.
Cue the thing. No, it's like a surfy song.
Oh,
I don't know why I did it like that. Anyway,
that's nice. I don't know why it sounded sarcastic. I wasn't trying to be sarcastic.
I said the exact same thing at the end of the last episode, and when I listened to it, it didn't sound sarcastic.
Yeah, you guys sound like.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good then. I'm becoming even better at mimicking normalcy.
We're proud of you. Yes.
Normal human behavior.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited to hear about the topic that I requested. Essentially,
you did. This is how this came about. Awesome. Here we go.
The thing is that I was like, I want to hear. It's like the effect of like, you know how there's all the people on YouTube doing like video essays and whatever, and it's like a thing that you could be familiar with, but like just having somebody else do the research for you, I guess, just makes it like a little. It's like, and then you kind of get a new layer on top of like your own lived experience.
Well, we were talking about during the political education group, but hey,
what?
Well, like get someone else,
somebody else.
Yeah. But hey, this is fine. This is a tight-knit circle of learning, and it's totally appropriate. What's going to be my follow-up to that?
I just got my real VPL cards. Now I can like rent the books that I want. So
hell yeah.
Guys, I had a breakthrough.
What
decided to go somewhere else.
I just started hacking the thing off the ceiling.
I mean, I looked it up and it's like I would have to like reset the breaker box, and I don't even like this building is like a bunch of converted warehouses, so I don't even know where that would be. So I just went somewhere else that wasn't my bedroom.
Oh, I have a breaker for mine too, but the thing is that next to it there's like a fucking industrial 200 decibel alarm, so I'm very afraid to turn the breaker off. Anyways, that's good news. I guess our guest is gone now, though.
Aww. You enjoyed them when they were here.
They were unwelcome.
Here's the train.
That's
Can
true.
you hear the
Fuck
train?
that.
I've got a train now.
Oh, we got a train. Well, that's a better guess. We got a train.
Yeah, I mean, we love trains.
Yes.
Here at the Epoch. We love trains and Lenin, and we love Lenin-y trains.
We love Lenin getting off that train.
We love Lenin on a train.
Lemony trains.
Lemony fresh.
Lemony...
Yeah, Lenin's still lemony fresh
right.
where they embalmed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the thing, Jesse.
Anyway, I'm gonna play the theme song again in post here.
This is the Theory Primer.
Okay, this is Theory Primer.
That sounds very nice.
Oh, that was sounding really good.
I think that's the greatest song I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you. I wrote it myself. Anyway, this is, I got a request to expand on Marx's theory of alienation. The word that was used in the original text is Entfremdung. That translates roughly to like alienation or estrangement. So in his 1841 text, The Essence of Christianity, Ludwig Feuerbach, it's another name that I cannot properly say. I tried for like an hour to record a good take of Feuerbach, but it just sounds like I'm gagging because I can't do the German R sound.
Feuerbach.
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 Feuer.
I like that. That's not
As long
real.
as you pronounce the
Oui, oui.
U as like an oi sound,
Feuer.
you got it. You're
Oui,
fine.
oui, which is French.
Ludwig Feuerbach posited that the concept of God as a supreme being was responsible for the estrangement of man from his sort of humanness, his human characteristics. And Karl Marx reinterpreted this idea of self-estrangement in the context of class stratification as part of his economic and philosophic manuscripts of 1844. The following year, a guy named Max Stirner published a book called The Ego and Its Own, or if you translate it literally from the German, it's The Unique and Its Property, which is why we don't translate it literally from the German, because I don't know what that means. And it was sort of an individualistic or anarchistic-ish critique of Feuerbach, and Marx and Engels had a response of their own. Thank you, Carlene. Marx and Engels they wrote something, but they couldn't find a publisher for it. I think it eventually ended up getting published in the 1930s in the Soviet Union, but they wrote a series of manuscripts called The German Ideology, which was actually a critique of the German ideology. All of these works set out to identify the causes of man's sense of alienation and to propose societal models for overcoming that malady. But we're going to focus on the Marxist interpretation, as we are wont to do here on the Epoch.
The fuck Stern.
As is our want, yes.
So I'm just going to reiterate some of the basic premises of capitalism, as that is the dominant economic system under which we operate. So most of us humans do not have unrestricted access to all the resources that we need to survive and thrive. The majority of us are functionally consumers. We must give money to the owner of a good or a service if we want access to that good or service. If we have an abundance of something that someone else wants, then we can, in theory, trade that coveted thing for some money. Some money. If we have neither money nor an abundance of resources, then we must sell the only valuable asset that we have left, and that is ourselves, our labor. Under capitalism, this means that we sell our labor power to the capitalist, whom will feel obligated to extract from us the maximum possible profit. We, the workers, are thus reduced to human capital. Our humanness, our human essence, is stymied by an obligation to yield the capitalist a desirable return on investment. And so our time and energy no longer belong to us, nor do the products of our labor. Rather, they belong to the employer, who will do with them whatever is most profitable. So it's not really a wonder, then, that we feel estranged from our work environment, fellows, and even possibly ourselves. So the alienation of the worker, as described by Marx, is generally distilled into 4 categories of relationships. 1, alienation from the product. 2, from the act of production. 3, from the Getungswisen. However the fuck you say that.
I love
It's
it.
just a German word that
Getung.
it roughly translates to the species essence, or
Spacin?
What it means
That
to be a
sounds
human.
basic.
How it
Get-
feels to be a human.
Gattungswesen.
Spacin.
I like
Whatever.
that.
And the 4th is the worker's alienation from other workers. So I'm just going to go through these and expand a little bit. 1, alienation of the worker from the product. So when dealing with the manufacture of a physical commodity, especially in like an industrial setting, products aren't manufactured in accordance with human need, but rather to maximize profits from sales. And this is accomplished in part through priming consumers to desire the product. It's advertising, whether or not they actually need it. And then the workers are simply given the tools or materials that they do not own to create a product that they will not own in order to create profits that they will not receive. Rarely, if
Like
ever.
working at a Starbucks.
I mean,
Yeah,
in theory,
hi, everyone.
you'll be able to buy other things and own those things, but like, yeah.
Sure.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's the.
I mean, you could go to a store and buy something that you made, but you're probably going to pay more for it than you got paid
Oh
to
yeah,
make it.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I don't know what I meant. I had a thought in my head about that, and now it does not make any sense. So yes, please continue.
Rarely, if ever, will we interact with the individuals that farm our food, sew our clothing, or build our electronics. And I wanted to add a little bit of a human services spin to this because that's what I work in. Human services professionals are necessarily disengaged from the lives of their former clients and are thus estranged from the products of their own emotional labor. And that's sometimes by law. Like, there's an ethics board basically that actually determines the legal repercussions for getting personally involved with anybody that was formerly a client. Number 2, alienation of the worker from production, from the act of production. Wage labor is definitionally performed for the employer, according to the specifications of the employer at a rate determined by the employer. A task, even one that could otherwise be fulfilling, becomes a coerced ritual. Human services interactions are engineered such that the personal lives of provider and client necessarily do not intersect. And any professional duties which are quantifiable with an exchange value, i.e. what we officially get paid to do, tend to be mundane and uniform. Industrial facilities are not public or personal workshops in which we can explore our creative abilities, but rather the private domains of the property owners. Number 3, alienation of the worker from human nature, from that shit that's hard to pronounce, the species essence. I tend to dismiss discussions of human nature as a non sequitur when it comes to theory, but this may be the exception that proves the rule. Marx is here referring to that which drives and motivates us as individuals, and also as members of a community. I agree with Marx in this regard precisely because no theory of societal development can dictate what human nature means for all humans. Rather, human nature is what fulfills each of us in our own respective capacities, and that likely includes community engagement, as well as our independent creative endeavors. Our liberation is derived from the freedom to choose how we are productive, and we thrive on the collective output of our impassioned productive capacity. As such, there's a lot to be said about how wage labor takes us away from this sense of fulfillment of our human purpose, but I don't want to lose the thread of this minimally philosophical theory primer. As of right now, we can get into it after if you want. And lastly, the alienation of the worker from other workers. As employees within a hierarchy, we're motivated not by cooperation for the common good, but by competition for the prospect of obtaining higher wages. It's like a market, you know? Gotta fucking sell yourself at a job interview. The capitalist, occupying a higher level in the hierarchy, feels obligated to shape quote-unquote work culture. It's a cringeworthy phrase. It leaves a sour taste in everybody's mouth unless you like
Come on,
lemons.
guys, you don't like work culture?
I mean, when it's bad, it's bad. I mean, like, it's more like you just hope for an absence of badness.
Yeah,
But
that is a
just
terrifying phrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
The capitalist, occupying a higher level in the hierarchy, feels obligated to shape work culture to their own advantage and to the detriment of worker solidarity. Like, try talking about your wages with
yeah, I was just
your
going to use that
colleagues
example.
when you're at work. They'll fucking yell at you. They'll shut
They
it down
get
real quick.
weird. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna forget. But it's just like super weird. Like I think I brought this up at work one time, and like everyone was like super offended. It was super offended. And I was like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like I don't understand why it's a. Maybe it's one of those social things I don't implicitly understand. But it just seems
we can get
silly.
into it.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those methods of maintaining this hierarchy where like everybody's competing against everybody else, and it's kind of.
I mean, like, I don't know if you've heard like some people say it's common wisdom to like not talk about your wages. Like it's not very
talk about it.
It's not, yeah, like, it's just, like, you shouldn't, it's, like, a social faux pas, but it's, like, fuck that, who cares, like, it's important, and, like, that's how you build solidarity and, like, class consciousness.
Just talk about it when your boss isn't there, or talk about it in front of him if you fucking want to piss him off.
Fuck your boss.
Probably sucks.
The precarity of at-will employment alone will pit employees against one another, fostering secrecy, duplicity, blame, shame, guilt, and a host of other unhealthy dynamics that all condition the individual worker to act primarily out of fearful self-preservation. And that's, I'm saying that from like a mental health standpoint. I think when we learn these self-preservation techniques. It's the same kind of stuff that we talk about in Narcotics Anonymous with character defects. Like, we develop them when we're in addiction because they keep us safe, but they end up hurting us in the long run and getting in between us and anybody we want to have a healthy relationship with, including ourselves. So those are the 4.
Oh no, I think that was my fault. I walked in the game from my computer and my headset didn't stay connected.
It's cool.
Start from though Marx, because that's basically like right as you started that paragraph, it stopped. So
okay, though Marx developed this theory of alienation with particular regard to the industrial workers of his time, at least in my opinion, it is still vastly applicable to our current circumstances. As the world's productive capacity increases exponentially, with industry developing rapidly even in areas of the global south. Side note, you can probably thank China for a lot of that, to be honest. With the explosive growth of economies in nations such as China and India, and with behemoth corporations like Amazon, Google, and Apple, despite the ability to communicate instantaneously with other people all over the world, we humans are feeling increasingly alienated in all of the aspects I just described. It is clear to us now that automation has absolutely not rendered labor obsolete, and that exploitation and wealth stratification are not simply functions of the primitiveness of our technology. They are the inevitable consequences of the capitalistic mode of production. Mic drop. Not literally. This mic is... I like this mic. I would never fucking drop it.
Woo!
Don't call it come back.
It's also attached to like a very sturdy arm of...
I gotta get one of those.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. Thank you for doing
yes.
that.
You guys think I did a good job?
Yeah,
I think I did a pretty good job.
You did a good job. I'm pretty fascinated by the alienation of, like, you say worker from human nature, but like just like human from human nature.
Oh yeah, the third one?
Yeah, like, because like it hooks back to something that like Hava and I talked about on the latest movie club episode, that like you can like take the black pill through the abuses of like patriarchy and capitalism. Like, you can decide to take the black pill and be like a lady joker, or you can like forgiveness and like keeping yourself open in your heart, curious, like you said, like that's like what being human is. So
hell yeah.
And I feel like people talk about like how like they don't feel like there's a point to like try to do anything or fix any problem because of like climate change is going to like destroy everything in 8 years. It's like, well, like you're alienated from your own desire to continue to like fight for like a better thing, you know?
Exactly.
That's how it like manifests in like human interaction, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the work that I do is actually pretty fulfilling in that I'm, a recovering addict and I work with addicts. So on some level, I feel like I am fulfilling a purpose, but at the same time, like so much of it is predicated upon whether or not they can bill insurance for like the services offered. So most of the time I just end up going around with the fob and like tapping the little checkpoints so that somebody can have proof that I was like, quote unquote, doing my job. And then anything beyond that is stuff that I'm not really getting paid to do. The actual recovery stuff happens. It's my decision if I decide to engage on that level,
What's fob?
A fob?
It's like a key card thingy.
Okay.
It's like a
Kind
little
of.
plastic
It's a thing you
key.
tap that gives
How
you
does everyone
access
know
to
what
things.
this is? I don't.
Maybe
And you
just
worked in
never
like
had
an
one.
office before?
You've never had a car. That's also part of it, probably.
I've had a
I don't have a
cars.
car. I've never had a
You
car.
had cars?
I've had cars. I've had two
I've never
cars.
even had a license. I've never even had a permit. I don't even know what a fucking car is, dog.
He's never even played a racing game,
Yeah.
All right. Is there something that can't be made up, or have you been too busy this week?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk some more about the alien.
If you have anything. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's just about like the kind of like ask about wages. I was confused about that because I knew it was a thing, but I was like, well, I don't feel weird for talking about it, so why would anybody else? But then I'm just wondering how this is a learned thing. I talked about this with people when I started my job about like a year and a bit ago. Very early on, I was like, oh, so how much do you guys get making? And then they're like, oh, we don't talk about that. And I was like, where are they learning this from? Like, I don't understand.
They probably
That's kinda
learn it from their
surprising.
employer.
Yeah,
Oh, I
but
thought
we're
people
starting a
learned it
job
from
at the
their
same time. Like, we're starting, like, I've worked other jobs besides this job and never was it like, oh, don't talk about that. but I also
I
did
grew
talk-
up with parents who like infused all these ideas in me about
Same.
what was and wasn't, polite.
Yeah.
Even though
Oh, my parents didn't do that.
It is kind of surprising to me that people our age would be being cagey about it because just
Yeah.
because your parents tell you it's not. It's one of those things like I don't think I ever was hesitant to talk to my coworkers and my work friends about it.
Yeah, it's like how often people actually like take the advice their parents give them. Always, it's like
Right.
they said, "Don't talk about that," and it's just like, why? It's like don't do that.
It's
But
not
they also say
polite.
like, "Don't crash your car" or "Don't get pregnant." And they still do that.
Like
So-
here's a great example of
Not crashing
something
your car
like
sounds pretty smart, though.
Yeah.
I will always remember the fact that my mom told me at a very young age that it is not polite to eat your food the way that I do, which is I like to eat all of one thing and then all of another, and like I still do it, but that stays with me. I don't know why.
That all right. That
Don't know why.
let me
it's not
just
polite.
say,
That's freak shit.
I don't think that that's like a normal faux pas. Like I think your
Yeah.
mom just made that up because I've never heard that anywhere.
It could be like a Mormon thing. I don't know. Maybe
Did
learned
she
it from my
make the
grandmother.
food? Did she make the food? And she's like, because I can see that from my dad, because some of my dad's kind of weird trauma-inducing things come from like food. Basically, he's like watching you eat the food, and if you respond in a certain way.
Oh,
then
no,
or if
no.
you, then it's like, oh, you don't like it, and then you have to like placate him by being like, no, it's great, thank you so much for making the food.
No, it was definitely like presented to me as a thing that I should do so that other people would find me acceptable and love me and give me the worth that I could never have for myself because
I don't know why you said no, because it just sounds like the same thing.
It was just like, here's how to be acceptable to other people so that you'll be accepted kind of thing. It wasn't like, it didn't have anything to do with her.
It sounds
or the way
extremely
she made food.
insecure, though.
Well, I'm not going to even get into that because that's just a whole
Yeah, I
a
know.
whole dark well that we could go down.
Yeah, it's
This is
I don't
neither
know.
the time nor the place.
yes. No, I just was like, I was
After
like,
the
no, that
show.
sounds anyway. But yeah, the salary stuff, it is weird because
Why? I mean, you keep saying it's weird, but it's not. It's not at all. Like that is
what do you mean?
because it's one of the ways that your employer can pay you less money.
Yeah, if you don't know what's up.
If you don't know
Okay, I mean,
that other
it's
people
like
are
a wool
making
pulled
more
over
than
your
you, then you're not going to complain about it.
Yeah,
at
I know,
least
it's
in their
not-
mind. Like they
no,
shut
it's
the
weird
conversation
Every
down.
motherfucker's making more than you.
Yeah.
That's what you
It's-
should assume.
And
It's only-
also, if they have some sort of prejudice towards somebody for whatever reason, they can pay that person less, and that person will be none the wiser. It's like a common tool in the tool belt for those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's just like I'm saying it's weird because like it's like a thing that never mind. I don't know. I was like it just shows that
You're
lack of
truly
fucking
an
theory of
outsider on
mine.
this one.
Yeah, no, I just don't. It just
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah,
I get it.
and it's weird too being remote because there's not many casual conversations where you could kind of like wedge that in there somehow and get people's vibe for it. You can't just be like, "Hey, I want to do a video call with you right now to talk about your salary."
Yeah, it is awkward as fuck. To be like, how much you getting paid? Be like,
What you
No,
could do,
randomly sit
what you
down at
could
lunch.
do is look up your
gotta be good for
look up reviews of the place you work, and
Yeah.
if any of them have anything to do with wages, be like, "Whoa, look at this! Do you get paid this much?"
Yeah. That's probably a good way to do that. I mean, my company is weird where it's like kind of smaller. So I'm not sure if for example, if I were to look on Glassdoor or whatever, I'm not sure if those salaries would be up to date. But yeah, that's probably a good
But
way
it
to
doesn't
put
matter
that.
because you don't care about those salaries. Like you just care about what other people are making.
Oh yeah, true.
This is to help you with your facade.
I can't. Yeah, I know. I can't. I'm not a very like subversive person.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
don't
why I
know.
say, like, if you don't I feel like most people are going to be primarily concerned with if I talk about how much I'm making, will my boss punish me for it?
Oh, I mean, actually, that's the good part of being remote because then I feel like once you're remote, it's more a thing of like this interpersonal like connection. Are they going to be offended? And I feel like that could be lessened by like say you go first and say like I make this much. How much do you make?
Or you could go, on the count of three, we'll both say how much we made. We both
One,
just
2, 3.
shout it out.
Yeah. Anyway,
These are the things I could do without.
Come on.
Talking to you, more salary.
More money.
Please.
so the alienations were from their product, from the act of production, from the species essence, and from other workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Yeah. You can't ask your fellow worker how much they get paid. I mean, that's
Exactly.
alienation.
Those all play off of each other.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's really.
I'm talking to you.
That's why we have these systemic analyses, because if you look at anything in a vacuum, it seems very bizarre. And capitalism on its own seems pretty bizarre, really.
Yeah.
It's like a very contrived mode of production. But people are so, like, it's so normalized.
It does. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Isn't it though? Like, just think about like I'm sure if there was like an intelligent species, they would be like fucking confused about like why would like you guys give each other like fake like things with like numbers on them to pretend that it's like worth a thing, and
literally everybody has to agree that this thing is real and you need it.
It's whatever.
Boggles the mind.
Tarantula hawk. Well, it's not a tarantula.
That just makes me think of, like fully automated space communism.
Fully automated luxury gay space communism?
Yeah, in Star Trek.
Forget it, Marge. It's Chinatown.
You haven't been paying attention to the literature.
What are all these noises?
These noises.
But yeah, it is. It's a kind of thing where like I try to think about like capitalism, and I'm thinking like it just sounds like a bunch of like absolutely psychotic people made the most money because they were psychotic.
Yes,
and then
that's what I was.
And then they were able to write all these rules, and then they have to have all these rules and.
That's what I was really getting at with that last bit about how like we're conditioned to act in a way that's essentially psychopathic. Like that's how you get ahead. You don't get ahead by like doing nice things for people. You get ahead by fucking. Like ratting people out for the smallest infraction until there's nobody else left.
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
It's almost like too, because I feel like it's a at least with my experience being on call and having to talk with customers and having to deal with like, like getting a call every time of the day, because of that environment, it feels like you almost have to kind of not just dissociate, but also like you have to it almost forces you to have some alienation from other workers, because otherwise you'll be thinking about like what's happening with that person. They've been on a call for an hour and a half, and then like you feel you can't open up to other people as much about like it's too overwhelming to think about like I feel like shit. Like everybody else probably feels like shit too.
Right.
And just like
and then we're also taught to keep that shit to ourselves because like that's the American way, it's like everybody,
I don't keep it to myself.
Like everybody fucking works super hard. Like but why don't complain? Why don't you go to Venezuela and eat a dead rat or whatever? Like
eat a capybara.
Fuck off, Jesus Christ!
Eat a capybara.
Yeah.
Thank you. What are you talking about?
I know.
It's like
I don't eat. I don't eat meat. I wouldn't eat one.
Capybaras are cute though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
They're the best.
They're like little doggies, but like slow.
Yeah, with weird hand
they're
feet.
so big, so much bigger than you think they would be.
They're enormous.
And they're so adorable, and you just want to be like, dog, come home with me, chill out on my couch, and let's watch.
He looks like a guy like he looks like he'd be a good friend to like sit on the couch and watch a movie and get stoned.
I don't even care if you poop everywhere.
Yeah,
lots of other animals like to hang out.
There's always a fucking like bird or a cat or like a duck sleeping on a fucking capybara. It's everywhere in nature. This is just the way it is.
Every capybara has some other animal on top of it.
Speaking of a stack of capybaras, do you have something that you can't make up, Ellie?
Woo!
Yes, I do. In fact.
How good was that transition?
It was excellent.
That was just chef's kiss.
It was just how I like it.
Yeah, all right. So
just how I like it. Extremely unsubtle and to the point.
Then all my transitions have been just
sorry, Ellie, go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. Woo! It's okay.
You can mess it up with the
This is something you guys have all seen.
Are you sure we've seen it?
I think most of you guys have already seen it, but I just kind of could not.
Oh yeah,
do
that
it.
guy. Yes.
Yeah, this dude is a guy. I think part of this dude is a guy. Wow, what a great way to start.
Maybe he's not. You know.
So this is a story about a guy who is a lobster diver, and he is works, I guess, in Provincetown, down at the end of the Cape. I'm not gonna just go through piece by piece through this whole article, but I do like the way that they told it. Basically, what lobster divers do is they literally dive down to the bottom of the ocean.
Lobster diver.
Yeah, and they grab lobsters.
Why do they dive instead of doing the usual thing of
the smart thing of using cages?
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Maybe he wants to be less alienated from the. Maybe he wants to be less alienated from the act of production and the product.
Or they want to feel superior to a lesser being, and they like stealing it from the ocean floor.
I mean, I could answer that question for real.
No.
You don't want
to know.
Tell me which one it is.
It's because I mean I only know this because I grew up in Gloucester, but it's illegal to set up traps in a lot of places.
Oh.
So if you want to fish,
because you need a permit
or do any trapping, then if you're just swimming around, then
you'd be like, "Sir, this lobster attached itself to me. I wasn't trying to catch it. It just grabbed on."
The Coast Guard's probably not gonna
condone it.
Detain you for grabbing a lobster.
A lobster. Dude grabbed a lobster. Too bad. Too bad for the lobster.
When lobster grabbing is outlaws, only outlaws will lobster grab.
grab him by the lobster.
I mean, it's the same way. You can fish off the shore, but if you want to do commercial fishing, you have to go way out.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, that does make sense. I was just it was just intriguing because I'd never heard of people diving specifically for lobsters. But what you're saying makes sense.
Either, yeah. Well, anyway, that's how lobster diving works.
It's cool.
Not what the story is about. This guy who's a lobster diver was diving for some lobsters, and basically just a big ol' whale came up and
a whale?
And a humpback whale fucking literally swallowed him. And he fucking wound up literally inside a whale. So that's how you know that the end times are here.
That's pretty tight.
I don't have a whale, so.
Is it better or worse than being stung by extremely venomous jellyfish?
Probably better.
Good icebreaker question.
Sounds like it was pretty unpleasant, and also understandably, he was like,
"Okay, I'm dead.
What the hell is this? Some kind of tube?
I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna get out of this."
Oh, geez, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it sounds like he thought it was a shark at first, but he noticed that he couldn't feel any teeth, and there were not any obvious wounds on his body. So then he was
That's
like,
rad.
"That's a whale."
And then the whale was like, "Wait, this giant guy isn't Krill?"
He's just ugh, ew,
not a dude-shaped pile of krill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also he was wearing scuba gear.
Oh yeah, you can't digest that
ouch.
shit.
Yeah.
Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie.
My favorite sentence is.
What?
Tell that the whale.
I don't know if that went through.
Like oh.
I mean, maybe in post we'll be able to hear it, but to us it just sounded like.
That just sounds like.
Yeah,
no.
It sounded like.
What?
Yeah. I don't need it. It's fine.
What the hell is this? Some kind of
Just
tube?
what?
Thank you, Scott.
Wait, what? What was so funny?
I was adding to what it sounded like. Anyways, repeat the sentence.
I don't know.
I didn't mean to kill him.
The whale began. Oh no, he's dead. Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it just says the whale began shaking its head so that Packard could tell he didn't like it. That's all.
Poor baby. Oh, he's gonna.
Is this some kind of whale?
Some kind of whale.
Yep.
I mean, you can maybe, perhaps for a physics problem, you would simplify the whale's shape to be a cylinder, so that would be a tube.
I already am eating.
What is it that joke? Like,
From the
okay,
trash
assume
can
the
all the
horse
time.
is the sphere. What is that
Any
joke?
any mammal with a digestive system is basically just an elaborate tube if you think about it, including the whale.
We all start life as an asshole because literally we do.
Yo, and a whale. Yeah, I don't think whales have cloacas. I think they have butts and everything. So who knows? Anyway, the whale threw him up. The whale barfed, and now he's okay.
Did like literally barf, or was it like because he was it like based on when it was the guy like swimming in like a cloud of like a whale?
I guess
whale like vomit.
It's not clear. It's not clear from the story.
I don't have the details I need.
He says he was just, he said.
I saw light, and he started throwing his head side to
Did you think
side.
he was dying?
And the
Saw
next
light?
thing I knew, I was outside.
So we don't know. I mean, I'm assuming if something is in a whale's stomach and then it's not in there anymore because the whale barfed. I'm not trying to put words on the Cape Cod Times article here. So
Whale
whatever.
vomit is like one of the most valuable commodities on the planet.
Ugh.
I what? How do
Really?
you know this?
I mean, it's
Jesus,
kind
you
of-
cool
kind
with
of
the
like-
soundboard.
Sorry.
it's like historically. You guys don't know about whale vomit?
No, we don't.
Well, whales are very important.
You guys don't know about
like,
whale vomit?
The only reason why we were able to continue functioning as a society because they were like, hey, we're running out of whales. We found this stuff in the ground that kind of does stuff like whales do, like whale
Whales do.
blubber.
Whales turn
Like,
into a liquid
that is how
can
a whale
burn.
do.
No, and then that's just like it was oil. They were like, oh, we found oil. Great, perfect.
Yeah. So the rest of it.
Oh, ambergris. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have heard
But
of
that's
this stuff.
not from whales, though, is it?
Yeah,
I
it
know
is.
about ambergris. Is it?
It's
Okay,
produced in
whatever.
the digestive system of sperm whales.
Well, I believe Jesse because he's from Gloucester, which means he grew up.
I didn't
on a
learn about whale vomit in Gloucester.
You didn't.
No.
You learned about it on the interwebs.
Fuck, I don't know. No, probably.
It's so weird.
That's what a whale sounds like.
According to Wikipedia, freshly produced ambergris has a marine fecal odor. Great, thank you.
Oh, I bet that smells
Oh!
wonderful.
God.
That's amazing. The only other thing that I want to note from this article
Star
is that
Trek
Michael
4.
Packard. We like Italian food? No.
Yes.
The only other thing in this article that I think is worth sharing is the fact that Michael Packard, who's this guy who got swallowed by a whale, has also survived a plane crash 10
Lucky
years ago.
son of a bitch!
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
one
if
of
I
those
would
guys.
call him lucky. He
Yeah, lucky. I
was
wanted
in
to
a
have a
plane.
plane crash.
He had a lot of massive.
he was in a plane crash and then a whale
soft
ate
tissue
him.
damage.
I feel like
Son of a bitch.
that's like if you get struck by lightning 6 times and survive, that's you're not lucky. Like you'd probably be like, just fucking kill me. Just finish
Do
me
it,
off. Do it.
you stupid person. Do it. Just do it.
No, I don't think I
Are you trying to not say anything offensive?
No, I couldn't think of I couldn't think of a good word to use. I couldn't decide. There was too many options.
Too many insults.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all wild forms of cope.
Alright.
Lastly, I will say though, like ambergris is one of the reasons
Ambergris? That'd be a cool name for a band. Anyway, sorry.
it is at least partially responsible for the near extinction of whales because it was so coveted.
Yeah,
And
humans
it
get
goes in
covered-
like
covered in
really
stuff.
expensive perfume. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's like I literally have whales in my
anyway,
belly juice.
anyway,
Fascinating.
Tuesday.
anyway.
Anyway, I would have been Comrade Ellie, and that also was shit that you couldn't have made up hypothetically.
Wow.
Why do you say hypothetically?
Because that's how the jingle ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh right. I'm sorry. I forgot. Yes.
The jingle, which is literally my ringtone now because I turned it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
This is a 50-second episode, guys.
52nd.
That's a year.
Oh, I thought you meant like it's 50 seconds. I was like, I
Yeah.
hope
Right.
not.
I didn't even
That's
mention
right.
that. I forgot. Yes, this is the official
Shit,
anniversary episode of our...
Quick, wake up, Joe.
No, he sleeps.
No, I know. I don't want to do that.
Get Kit and get Binks and get Shlee, everyone who's ever been on the show.
Every single person.
All right.
We've had a lot of guests.
Too many.
Too many puppies.
Too many podcasts.
Are being shot in the dark.
Woo!
Take us out, Scotty.
Take
Beam
us
us up and
out.
take us out.
I am the freak leader of the parade. I don't know, guys. Sorry.
You are the driver of the clown car.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
It's true. I'm driver of the clown car.
Honk honk. Beep beep.
The clown train. We like trains.
Yeah, it's a train.
Yes. We like trains. Yes, my name is Scott. You can find me on the internet at Sweaty Wife at both SoundCloud and Bandcamp. I think I'll just start, I don't know. I have music I need to start releasing that has been kind of on the back burner for too long. You can find me on Instagram at Sweaty Wife as well, and you can find me on Twitter at DeathMullet. Also, I forgot to mention the Patreon, which I want to mention right now because I forgot to mention that you should go to patreon.com/epichincredulity, where some bonus content. We, like I mentioned during our little discussion, we put out a new episode of the movie club. It was on The Love Witch, which is a movie that we're a little, I'm mixed on, but listen and decide for yourself. That's me. Would any of the others who are not likely to be found like to go?
Any of the AFABs?
Yeah.
AFAB gang.
Kind of one.
AFAB gang.
AFAB and...
A train just went by here, which makes me think that this is an opportune time to go, because, oh my god, I still have a fucking alarm for feeding cats that I don't live with anymore. I'm Ellie, and, yeah, you can't find me, but, here we go. If you need a psychic reading, you should email my headmate.
What the hell is
Email
this? Some kind of tube?
Oh, whoops, I mean...
His
eyes uncovered!
Dude, you gotta have some, trigger
you should email her
discipline.
at darmok@gmail.com. DARMOK.
Darmok and Gilad Hatanagra.
His eyes uncovered!
DARMOK.
I just want to tell you that was acting on my part.
I'm trying to spell an email here, dude.
I didn't mean to.
Thank you for telling me that, because I just assumed based on your performance this evening.
I'm always performing, baby. Okay, spell that.
Me too.
Spell that fucking email. Sorry.
Oh, hold on.
One more time.
I got
Whale boy.
a train, but it was a fast train.
Democrats suck ass.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, DARMOK XJALAD@gmail.com.
Kamala.
Dorlock X Jihad.
Really?
Doorhead.
No, not that
So no.
Doorlock X Jihad at
gmail.com. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's me. Yay.
Sarah, you want to go?
Padlock X Assad.
It's like a slash fiction, that's their
Oh yeah, I think they do
their
like
OTT.
name X somebody other.
Padlock
Yeah, I
X
mean
Assad.
Darmok. We don't know what happened between Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. They could have gotten freaky. We don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the secret.
He grew up a meager locksmith.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh shit.
Why is he a meager one?
Because
he grew up in a working class family, and the only profession he could pin down was a locksmith.
Bum bum bum.
I want to see that. And I want to see all the fucking townies that he works with. Because he'd be working with some townies.
All the names of locksmiths in this area are like ABC Lock.
Yeah, it's like lock simple.
Or like J.R. McManus and Son, artisan locksmith.
I want to say my thing now.
Yes, thank you.
Just nothing.
Anything.
I'm Sarah. You don't find me. I'm busy doing various things like
Visualade.
yeah. Had to specifically be like, hey, I need you. I'm gonna be at this meeting, but I'm specifically not gonna present this because I want somebody else to do it. That's the level I'm at right now. Anyway, bureaucracy is
bullshit.
Reduce the bureaucracy. Anyway,
burn down all that red tape. Cut it out. Oh,
man, I don't know what to talk about. I'm sorry. I got off track with the discussion about OTP.
All right, hold on. I have to vocalize the chat message that was just displayed on my screen.
I thought you were gonna.
Quote, Scott, are you playing with artisanal ceramic dice?
It sounded like the clinky.
What if they're not artisanal, though?
I was grinding.
And I'm Jesse, and you can find my music at soundcloud.com/contingensboston. Remember to hit up comrade-rosie.org. Click getting involved. Choose one or more. Which will aid groups to donate your time, labor, and or money to, because people really need your help right now. I love you.
Oh my God.
Give us especially your financial knowledge
Give
and
us
tax
your
knowledge.
bread. Give us this day your daily bread.
Oh yeah, and also I am almost done with narrating the rise and demise of women's liberation.
Ha!
I just put up like a little ASMR episode on Patreon, which you will hear in the main feed in a couple of weeks. I only have one more part to finish, so it should be a 4-part narration, and that is it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Excellent.
Sign up to the Patreon. You'll get it quicker.
Whoa. Yeah, that's right.
Give us $1.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Epic Incredulity, but more importantly, we're on Patreon at Epic Incredulity, where you can find all that bonus content. All that what I was talking about earlier.
Bonus.
We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube.
Bonus.
Follow us. We get boners.
All that
boner.
No
bonus.
No boner.
Who wish
Boner.
I could get boners?
I mean, I guess that's involved.
Boner.
That wasn't
balls.
what I was trying to say.
I'm sorry, what?
Boner.
Penis.
Boner.
Us. Bone all of
balls.
And every week we like to say Batankdo.
Batankdo.
And that's your Epoch. Good night and have a good week.
This is a good vibe. We're vibing.
Yeah.
I did it on a good vibe.
Do you have that?
I'm really impressed by how fast you can push those.
Do you still have the beady up B sound effects?
The what?
Like the like the cartoonish like punching sound.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do it. Music to my ears.
All right.